That's the plan. So I don't really care what you say as long as you get those things across. I just need Andrew to say, I might be. No, you don't even have to say it doesn't feel natural. I had a line in about how you could say, oh, maybe you could feed the ducks, and then you're like, you hang up and you're like, fucking feed the ducks. Like, are you kidding me? Kind of situation. But if you've got something else you want to put in place or something like that, the plan is 2 takes of every shot, unless the first one's fine, and then we'll use one of them regardless.
You don't want coverage?
Oh, Chris got some stuff. The only bit of exposition I think is I need to AD, are you saying when you're like maybe an hour, and you could be like, you're going to be an hour, are you fucking kidding me? Then Andrew, you're like, well, I don't know what the bus routes are, it could be half an hour, it could be 40 minutes, like someone could keep you here, because if it was an hour, you're like, I'm waiting an hour.
An hour, yeah. Should we do that closer to the road to get the sound of the traffic?
Yeah, we'll do that later, so when Joe goes.
We'll do this first.
We'll get everything with Joe out because Chris, get a tiny little bit behind him.
Oh, sorry.
Like as if you're trying to catch up with him.
Okay.
Okay, and action. I don't like that people are actually showing up. I was worried no one was going to show up, and now I'm worried that people are showing up. Okay, and then look down at the book. I don't know if I like this shot.
Maybe it's because I'm tall.
I think that's what it is, because it's really low angle. Okay, let me be...
Might be both.
Let your hand out go further, so it's kind of the only thing you see. Perfect. Oh, me back. I can see people who make films purely to get into the industry.
Yeah.
Or like they have such an industry mentality, and I can't even blame them because it's like such a hard ladder to get onto. So when it's like fully your dream, I understand why people act that way, but like for me it's like just a form of art. It's a form of like expression and creativity, and fuck would I love to do it full time or get like money to do it or have a budget to do it, obviously. But like I think when you make films as like a commodity or for work, but your passion is not that, it's quite sad. I think I'd rather just make what I wanted to make for the rest of my life. The overarching idea was I wanted to do relationships at this age, different relationships, long-term relationship breaking down, a long-term relationship getting better, a new connection, a failed date. But when I was like walking through the park, I was like, oh, this could be visually interesting. And you know, it's like sometimes when you're trying to like repress a feeling, you have ideas where you're like, I'm gonna go do this and I'm not think about it. Like if you're really stressed, you go out or you go see friends because you completely forget about it. But what happens when you're made to think about it and it's not your choice? So he's planning to meet a friend to go. He's got flowers so that insinuate that he's going to go to like a graveyard or something like that, but his friend's late and he wasn't planning on his friend being late, so now he has to sit, as he says, in the fucking park and feed the ducks for an hour. And like, what happens in that hour? He has time to think about things, he has time to grieve, etc. But yeah, that's the plan so far.
Nice.
Part of me thinks it's going to be absolute shite, by the way, but it's a step.
You know what it is? It'll be an Andrew Power production.
There we go. That's a synonym for it's gonna be shite.
It means what you want it to mean.
Like this film.
Yeah.
And what time of the day would that be?
Like 12 till 1.
Yeah. 12 to, it's set 12
In the
to 1.
afternoon.
Yeah.
And it's like, what day of the week? Or doesn't
Doesn't
matter?
matter. Doesn't
Because
matter.
I'm thinking like, I mean, he could
It'll
have
have to be
done
on a
something
Saturday.
else if he has an hour.
Characters. Sorry, what?
If he really wants to like...
But he's still meant to meet his friend.
He's meeting his friend here.
Ah.
So his friend says, I'm running late.
I'll be there in a bit.
I'll be there in about an hour. And the guy says, he's like, I'm literally waiting for the next bus. It might not be an hour. So his friend does show up a little earlier than an hour.
I'm thinking like, if he doesn't know, like Andrew said, if like his friend tells him I'll be there in a bit, then like
It leaves it open.
yeah,
Like it could be.
because if he knows it's an hour, he could have done something else.
It's like
No, that's too also like suspension of disbelief. Come on, Chris. The film doesn't happen if he leaves. But at the beginning, he does have a conversation, and he says like, "What am I supposed to do?" And then you say, "Well, the park's quite nice. You can just hang out there."
Yeah.
Like he doesn't really know the area. I guess they're not things I care about.
that bend, possibly bench.
I know. No, I know that it is them.
Like if there was 3 straight days, that would be perfect.
That'd be great, but I can't do that because I do Monday, Friday work.
But you're not able to still choose days off.
No, I'll have to work full time now in this new role, which is what I need because I'm like, I was barely being able to afford the rent. I'm on my wage at the minute, and I moved house. Okay, there we go. I think that'll do for now.
Cool.
Yeah. That's me done.
Okay, so you want us to talk about the screening on Friday?
Might be way better than I think. Might be way worse. Depends on how many people come. I was gonna say how many people come is how much I'll drink that night, and you can decide which way that goes.
How you are now, like in terms of life and shit, compared to how you were when you first started Homemade Film? Like what position are you in compared to
Probably worse.
a worse condition?
Yeah, I don't think I would make that now. Because I think I was in a better place mentally when I started making it. So I could look on what I wanted to talk about objectively. I never connected with it because it was never something I experienced. Like we were actually had to move house, but we weren't getting kicked out of our house. So I never connected to it as much. But everyone who's watched it says that they preferred that section of the film.
Yeah.
Which is the stuff that I kind of made up. 2 years later, now we're getting evicted.
Yeah.
It's as if like, oh, everything in this film
Is panning out.
is planning out. It's inspired by something. So I think you need to be in a stronger place to write about when you're in a worse place. Because if you're in a worse place, then you're just gonna like exaggerate and emphasize, and things aren't gonna make as much sense.
Do you worry that's what you're gonna do now?
Just in general.
You just worry in general.
I just worry. Literally, I mean, you've already said when we met up after I finished uni that I'm like the most neurotic person you know.
Yeah.
I just honestly think I have to do it, even if I don't want to do it. I have to create something in general. If God put me on this earth to do something, it would to create, because I don't feel happy doing anything else. But I don't feel happy creating. But I like always have to, even if I'm annoyed by it. And it's hard to do that when you need to make money and live. Dude, I remember when we made Subtitle Rave YouTube channel. I thought we were gonna be like YouTubers.
The next big thing.
Yeah. I remember making Left by a Broken Phone Box and be like, this is the greatest short film anyone's ever made, and then like re-editing it 3 times and stuff. I remember like when I was editing a homemade film when I was at my dad's, like living with my dad's, unemployed, middle of COVID, editing like every day and like sleeping in, just like hella depressed, and being like, when I release this, I'm gonna be famous overnight. And just as like an escape. And I didn't have a desk or anything, so I had my Mac on the floor. Do you remember? And I had this much space between the bed and the wall, and I'd sit on the floor. And like every day, I was like depressed, so I'd like wake up at like 2 p.m. and I'd like edit it till like 3. And like every night I'd edit, and I think I did the edit like 4 or 5 times. And what I like is that we're moving on and doing something else now. And so like when you were like, oh, we'll screen your film soon, I don't remember what happens in it. I have like barely any connections to it, like emotionally now, because I'm thinking about the next thing. So
You said you were surprised by how interesting you are.
that's so narcissistic if I said that. You know what? I said this one thing. If you keep the original line in, I want you to keep this line in now. It's like he said to us once, I have to actually pretend I'm speaking to you now because it was so narcissistic. He said, would you always make films? And I said, God made me to be an artist or something like that.
This was a joke.
No, I said it earnestly. And then afterwards, all I could think about... After that, all I could think about is how awful and like narcissistic that came across. And I meant to say it.
Even actual directors don't talk like that, Andrew.
No, I've lost. Do you need me to say anything specific?
Oh, no,
Do you need me to say anything specific?
How difficult is it to get a job working in the film industry as an independent artist? How does it affect your mental health as a recent graduate?
Do you want to talk to me?
I'd say as a recent graduate, my mental health has been like a roller coaster, especially in my aims to try and get into the film industry as someone who lives in the Northeast and identifies as an artist.
You keep your hands inside and smile for the camera. That's how it is. Okay.
Yeah.
He's laughing because he thought that was good.
There's a this is what this is reminding me of right now. Is like Bergman would push the camera as close up to someone's face as possible, but they were still impenetrable as a character.
How did you get in?
Because the door down there.
Did they just let you in? Because it's locked?
It's not, it's open.
Oh.
The one at the bottom of the stairs?
Yeah.
It's open now.
Alright.
Feeling anyway.
Alright. I was honestly fine until like 20 minutes ago. And I was like, oh god.
I remember you had COVID actually.
Yeah, no. Fine. Tired.
How are you feeling now?
I am quite nervous.
A lot of people are showing up.
Yeah, no, I'm surprised. I thought it was gonna be
Yeah.
like 6 people, because a lot of people that I know have like cancelled last minute or have plans. So I was like, oh, there'll barely be anyone here.
Anywhere on this side or on the back row of this side, depends who you want to sit with.
The cool kids.
Sit next to Henry then. Hello.
Do you not think of streaming this for the people in York?
We did not consider that.
You got time to set it up?
Probably not, no.
But no.
Well, he's releasing it online today. We were talking about the state you were in at your dad's.
Oh, right, I thought we were done with that.
But what I wanted to ask was how supportive were the people in your life?
No, none of them were supportive. They all left me on my own. Anyway, so that was a really good night of shooting, guys. No, I'm only kidding. Everyone was really supportive. I love everyone, yeah. So I was like, I don't know what the title of the film's going to be. And I was like, well, what's it about, really? And yes, it has a narrative, but that's not really what it's about. And I was like, it's ultimately about me making this at home. It has no support. There's like no funding in it. It's a homemade film. And I was like, I like that title. It says what it is on the tin.
I think we can cut on.
I think that's good.
Yeah. That's an ending for ours, Chris.
Perfect ending.
I've got things to do, man.
I've got things to do,
Said
man.
something like that.
Okay.
But just whatever, the same kind of things. The only thing I would say is mention the time again. But you mentioned up there, so
That's what I mean. This is why, like, do I think about
try
what?
a couple of different variables. Because if we say it up there, but I think you sounded better here, we'll make it so you can't hear it up there. Just rearrange the same point, and whatever you say, we're going to get Andrew to do the reverse on.
Okay. And it's 12 o'clock.
Shit, yes, at one point, I need you to look at your camera, at your watch, and the whole point is every time you look at the watch, the screen goes black and the time comes in the middle.
Okay.
Don't get the watch time, because it's not going to be 12:15, it's going to be like 12:04. But do it, and you can continue talking if you want, but we'll cut to black, you'll still hear you talking, and that's it. Chris, get a tiny little bit behind him.
Oh, sorry.
Like as if you're trying to catch up with him.
Okay.
Okay, and action.
What do you mean you're gonna be half an hour? Half an hour? I mean, it's 12:05 now. That's 8. What am I supposed to do? I'm just gonna sit about and do nothing? Come on, this is every time you're late. I mean, I'm pretty sure it closes at 1 or something. What, you think it closes at 2? Where am I gonna go? It's Sunday as well. There's literally nothing for me to do right now. What? Shut up. I'm not gonna feed the ducks. You dickhead. Got me taking... lad, I'm busy and I've got things to do. Right, okay. I'll see you in a bit then. Fine. What's what? I swear it's too much. I feel like I'm swearing way too much.
It's fantastic.
Okay.
It's great. No, thank you so much.
Just learn that.
No, you've got a lot to do, Andrew, to respond to that.